I want to say he was like 11th or 12th place, and now he's 14th place. So, and he's got a 125. So there's, you know, a few people that have surpassed him, gotten better times than a 125, which is really difficult during this tournament. So, yeah, quite competitive. It's really good. We almost have a top 10 with 124 times, which is really, really good. It looks like we got the race back up here, and we're almost on escape, so that's great. You didn't have to watch the whole escape.
I mean, nothing happens there anyway. It's just a bunch of, you know, soldiers in your way and stuff.
Yeah, that's basically it. Dodging rats, dodging snakes. There's a few strategies that you have to pull off, but nothing too drastic here. Just a lot of reacting to RNG mostly, so yeah. I guess, though, we can, you know, talk a little bit about the runners that we have here. We've got Contos up in the top left corner. According to leaderboards, he has a 136.12. And he's from France, been speedrunning this game for 2 years. It's the first game he's ever speedrun, and the only other category he does is Master Sword. So, it's pretty good. And then Andy, of course, has been running this game since the beginning of time, basically. Since April of 2012. If you can believe it. It's been 6 years since he's been speedrunning this game.
It's a long time.
It's a very long time, yes. And he runs every single category. He also runs Celeste, Super Metroid, and Ori and the Blind Forest. So he's got quite a game library. Very diverse games also. Greffery, our bottom left runner, has the leaderboard says he has a 128, but I know a few days ago he actually just got a 127.55. He's been improving really quickly. He hasn't been, well, he said he's been speedrunning this game for a couple of years. But yeah, over the past, I would say, few months, he's really brought his time down quite a bit. So he's been doing really good at this game. He also runs Final Fantasy Mystic Quest and Mega Man 2. Says great accomplishment is that he's not broken a controller yet due to playing these games, so GG to Gref.
That's an accomplishment in itself, yes.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last racer we have is Mysticum. He's got a 146.09 or 06, sorry, as of 9 months ago, according to the leaderboard. I'm not sure if he's improved it since then. He's from Sweden. He's been speedrunning for a couple of years, and this game for about a year. He does Master Sword as well. And as Super Mario World, I guess, and Super Mario Odyssey, but he says extremely casually. But yeah.
146 in 9 months, that's a pretty good pace.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, no, taking a death.
That'll set him back a little bit, but he's got the option to spawn at Link's house, so he can make a quick trip over to Eastern from there.
Yeah, it's not too bad. There's some places where you die in the overworld and it's very punishing. The one I can think of is if you die in Skull Woods.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because you spawn all the way on the pyramid, so you have to find your way all the way back. Find your way all the way back to Skull Woods. It's quite a trip. So we see Andy here that he has skipped the safety arrows. Which means that he is going to gamble for an arrow drop at the end of the dungeon. If he wins that gamble, it will save him about a second. But if he loses the gamble, he'll also lose a little bit of time. So it's definitely something that you see more top players do, just to gamble for that extra second. So not uncommon to see that from a top player like Andy.
Yeah, but arrow count is a little important here in Eastern because you're going to gather the arrows here that'll help you out, not only for the Armos fight, but for the rest of the run as well. You're going to want to at least have a decent amount going into Desert Palace as well.
Yeah, the arrow count in the early game is pretty important. Like as you said, you'll need them for desert. You also need them for Palace of Darkness, and some people use arrows also in Aghanim's Tower, so you really have to be aware of your arrow count in the early game, just to make sure that you can get all your fast strategies. And yeah, but in Palace of Darkness, you're required to use arrows. It's not an option, so you really need to make sure that you have enough in Palace of Darkness. You want to have 6 going in, at least. There's a good Zelda gamer room from Andy there.
Yeah, 202 arrows going into Armos here. He should definitely be good.
Yeah, and he does, yeah, this middle strategy here, which I don't think you see from many other runners, and got a little bit close there, but that's okay. Still has 2 arrows to spare. Didn't get the quick kill, but that's fine. I think he just shot an arrow at the wrong Armos. Alright, looks like we're just gonna get a little bit synced up here.
And as you can see from Greffery, the other method of doing Armos Knights, you kind of just kill them in a clockwise formation there. Very nice fight.
Yeah, very good fight from him. Contos coming up on the fight here. Still doing the top right strat. Very nice fight from Contos as well. So I think from both Greffery and Andy, we will for sure be seeing Tree Rupees. I'm not sure what Contos and Mysticum's strategy will be here. Usually when people are just starting out in this game, they'll be doing Sahasrara Rupees because it's just safer, more consistent, and you really don't have to worry about getting your tree pulls and all that stuff. So, and also you get extra bombs, which is nice.
Definitely always nice.
Well, it looks like Contos is going to do Tree Rupees.
Alright, so Mysticum coming on the Armos fight here. Looks like he's doing pretty good. He had a good arrow count going in and clean fight.
Yeah, very nice fight for Mysticum there.
So the second, these runners get their boots is where you're going to really see, where optimal movement is going to save you a ton of time. There's, certain areas where you can choose to dash or walk, and that really does affect your routing, but pretty much comes down to muscle memory. You'll know where and when it's faster to walk, or, use spin speed or dash, etc.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see Andy here dashing along slopes. That is one way you have a chance actually to dash faster when you dash along the slope. So he's trying to make sure that he does that. So yeah, that's really it, I guess, for this area, is just making sure to dash along those slopes.
So what you're saying is we should go fast, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually a good idea in a race, in a tournament, in a speedrun, but you do you, man.
It's a recommendation, that's all.
Alright, Andy making his way into Desert Palace now, and Greffery's just opening up the dungeon. They're still pretty close to each other.
Yeah, it looks like we got everybody synced up, so yeah, you're going to be seeing pretty much everything in real time from here. Also here in Desert, you're going to see them pick up some very specific pots that have arrows in them. it's kind of routed in a way to where you can grab arrows in this dungeon without losing a ton of time. And of course, we need those arrows mostly for the Lammeless fight coming up.
Yep, so in this dungeon, they'll pick up 20 arrows in total. And then there is a safety pot at the end of the dungeon that they can also grab for a little bit extra. Which Andy may end up grabbing because he'll only have, I think, 22 arrows going into the Landmo fight. And generally you want to have 25 or more. But we'll see what he does. He has been playing this game since the beginning of time, like we said, so maybe he'll be fine with 22 arrows. I don't know.
Actually seeing a really neat divergence in the route here for a safety strat on Mystican's side. He's actually going to go ahead and grab his net and bottle now. And that'll allow him to have a little bit more of a safer. Oh, he's gonna actually grab 2 bottles here. Interesting. That's really good for him.
Yeah, I think this is actually the strategy that Fruit Bats talks about in his tutorial. You know, just like an extra safety strat. Wow, I cannot talk today. And yeah, it allows you to grab the bottle and net here so that you have those safeties for the Light World, and also I think mainly for Helmasaur, because Helmasaur can be a pretty tough boss to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're going to get that bottle and you have the extra rupees, might as well go and get the extra bottle as well.
Yeah, for sure. So you may actually see him do tree rupees as well. But we'll see. We'll see what his rupee route is. I'm interested to know. Alright, Andy's starting up the Landmo fight here. The only thing guaranteed about this fight is where they spawn in the beginning, but the direction they go in and where they spawn from there on out is all random. So you're really just reacting to what you see. There's a few things in this fight that you can pay attention to. Mostly is where they spawn in the room. So if you see one spawning near the top of the room, you know that he is more likely to go down because of, you know, the amount of space that the room has. So you can kind of guess where they might be going based on that. It's mostly just making an educated guess during this fight. But, you know, they can still trick you, and when they're at the top of the room, they can go up, believe it or not. So it's just is what it is. But Andy had a pretty decent fight there, so did Gref, both making their way out, and Contos is now starting up his fight.
Andy also leaving with 12 arrows, so that's going to help him out later on.
Yeah, that's really good. He also went for the Cactus Dash, but Cactus got him first, so he abandoned that strategy. Oh, and I just realized that he doesn't have Sankart.
Oh yeah, he did skip it, and it looks like Contos did as well. Oh no, he hasn't defeated Lamo yet, never mind. Jumping ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so it is usually typical for top runners to skip Sankart. Usually don't see it so much at the 125 range. Usually see it more in like the 124 range, or low 125, I guess. But yeah, it saves 3 seconds to skip Sankart, but it also makes pretty much everything in the game a little bit harder, which sounds impossible. You might think like how it's just 1 heart, but having Sankart actually gives you extra hearts on some bosses. Extra hits on some bosses. So you can take extra damage. You have a little bit of leeway with the Sankart that you wouldn't have without it.
Yeah, you gotta feel real comfortable with your run if you think you're gonna skip Sankart, which, like you were saying, it saves 3 seconds, but yeah, it really depends on your comfort level.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Mysticum getting the fairies in Desert Palace here. Kind of a DLC room, one you probably don't see very often. if you've only ever watched speedruns of this game or have only ever run the game. But definitely a very good place to be getting fairies, and that'll be good for him for the rest of the run. Yeah, he's all set with his fairies. Ooh, Greffery having a rough time on Death Mountain here. Yeah, it's just not a whole lot that you can do here. Looks like he also missed spin speed the second time, but he's got it now. But entering here with 2 hearts is a little bit scary.
Yeah, that's the most thing he has to worry about right now. He was definitely trying to save time going up the mountain and mostly just making it easier to avoid those boulders, but yeah, just have to play a little bit careful coming into arrow here.
I think Contos might be squirrel blocked here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Gross. Yeah, squirrel blocks lose about 9 seconds. Ooh, and he's also getting rained on by cabbages. But he makes it out okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate, like, getting a squirrel blocked down at the bottom of the mountain like that. Not only because it wastes time, but also because it kind of leaves you open to the boulders to just come and rain on you. And also there's other squirrels that are hanging out over to the left of the screen a little bit, which can come by and ruin your day too. So it's definitely a stressful thing to be stuck down at the bottom of the mountain, squirrel blocked. Gref is now down to 1 heart here, so he's got to be careful. These tiles can kill him. The mini mold arms in the next room can kill him. So he's got to watch himself.
Yeah, he may opt to Death Warp when he gets the big key. We'll see. That'll put him back at the entrance, and that's perfectly okay for this category.
Oh, that was scaring me. Okay.
Yeah, that was clinchy.
He's good. Yeah, unfortunately these Stuffles do have a heart. He may actually end up death warping here now since he can just hit one of them. Yeah. Oh! He had some iframes there. But yeah, took a death warp. Definitely a good strategy. I think sometimes there seems to be some confusion about whether or not death warping is allowed. And in this game, we do allow it in a dungeon as long as it doesn't emulate a save and quit. So in dungeons, it's fine because it's usually slower than mirroring. And if you save and quit out of a dungeon, you end up like, you know, for instance, in Light World, you end up back at like Link's house or something. So it would be way slower to save and quit. So it's fine within a dungeon, but on the overworld, we do not allow death warping.
So Andy taking on Moldorn here. Gref is actually prepping his bomb jump, and there he goes.
Very nice. Nice fight from Andy as well. Gref's setting up the bumper skip, and he gets it. It's about a 4-pixel window, so it's a bit tight, but
that's always scary, yeah, because if you happen to bump into it, you fall down a level, and you just pretty much repeat it over and over until you get it, because sometimes you're stubborn and you want to get it.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's kind of the same thing as like doing the Desert 2 spin speed, where it's like, okay, do you want to save that little bit of time where like if you fail it, you're actually losing more time? Like it's a little bit of a gamble there, so
yeah.
Not as big of a gamble as Desert 2 spin speed, and it's not as hard to pull off, but same principle, I guess. Alright, Andy pulling his first tree here, getting his blue rupees. And now he needs to kill 4 more enemies without taking any damage, so he can pull his second tree to get his red rupees, which are worth 20 each, which will put him at 108 rupees in total. I think I did my math right. I hope I did math right.
Yeah, I think so too.
I was an English major. Yeah. Very nice Master Sword time there from Andy. 23:49. Gref's coming up on his first tree pull here. And you want to leave this tree with at least, I think it's 24, no, 23 rupees is the minimum that you want to have after that first tree pull, because then you'll get the 80 from the second tree pull, which will put you at 103. Oh no, it is 4. Sorry, I'm bad at math. I told you this already. 24 rupees, so then you have 104, so then you get 6 in pods, so you have 110, which is the exact amount you need for to get into Palace of Darkness. So that's like the minimum that you want. But Gref's got more than enough here.
Yeah, he's at a good rupee count. He'll be good to go. And then Gref should also be at a good rupee count once he gets down to that tree as well. He didn't take any damage in Forest, so that will not reset the rupee count you get from pulling the tree.
Yeah, Mist to come here. Down to 1 heart. Looks like he's going to Death Warp as well. Although he just grabbed fairies. So they are going to revive him. That may have also been intentional though, just so that he had extra hearts going upstairs. Alright, Gref successfully getting his second tree pull, and he's going to be off to Aghanim's Tower. Andy is just entering. I think he's going to be doing the Pooey strat here. Yep. So takes a spin, a couple arrows, and then another spin. Well, it's kind of a double spin, I guess, since you're having pinned up against the railing. And then this other room here, he slashed them with the beams and then dashed into them. That is so that he can ensure that there is not going to be a drop from those enemies, since they are in the prize pack, the fairy prize pack, and Andy wants to make sure that he preserves his fairy drop for Turtle Rock, so he doesn't want to get it now or in the next dungeon.
Greffery setting up that double spin. Always love that one.
Ah, yes. Alright, we got Miscum coming up to Moldorm here. Hopefully his fight goes well for him. Looks like he's kind of dancing with them around that middle hole there. On his last hit. Ooh.
Using that nice strat by bouncing off his head, and he cleans up nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to fall in the middle hole. That'll fall you down 2 levels. I mean, obviously you don't want to fall down at all, but if you think you are, off the side is best.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since that middle hole. Oh wait, no, it doesn't put you down to the very. Never mind. I was thinking of like when you fall and or bomb jump. That's
bomb
where
jump
it puts
to
you
the
down.
Moon Pearl, yeah,
Yeah,
all the
where
way
it puts
to
you
the
down
bottom.
to the lobby. Yeah.
The worst.
All right, Andy is on the Aghanim fight now. I think we all know how this one works, but just in case you don't, he's got, I guess, 3 different attacks that he can do. He can throw out an energy ball, which you reflect back at him to do damage. He throws out blue balls, which you just saw on Andy's screen. Doesn't do anything, just waste time. And the last part of his attack is this, where he shoots lightning down. And you actually can save, I think it's like saving a frame by standing at the top, like above Aghanim at the top of the room like that. For some stupid reason. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, so you don't want to be standing like, you know, below him or anything. But yeah, so this fight, I guess you'd only want to get energy balls, you do not want to be getting blue balls. The average amount of blue balls is 3. The best you can get obviously is 0. and each extra blue ball and lightning cycle costs 6 seconds each, so getting blue balls can be a big time sink for sure.
Yeah, if you're really lucky, you'll get 2 or less, which will be 1 less lightning cycle, but looks like both of them ended up having to get more than that.
Yeah, it looks like Andy had quite a few. He may have had, I don't know if he had 3 or if he had 4. Must have been, oh, it would have been more than 3 because you know you got 3 if you kill Ganon directly after the second lightning. You got 5 blue balls, okay.
Alright, so Andy heading down to Pod. He's got plenty of rupees for Kiki to open up the entrance, and as well as Gref does. Pretty much all our runners will. Mysticum looks like he's gonna maybe try to find rupees in another location, but he should be okay.
Yeah, he got greens when he pulled that tree. I think it's because he got hit. So now he's going to get his 4 kills without taking damage and then pull the tree in the courtyard just outside of the castle to hopefully get his reds.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's going for.
Yeah, but he's got him, so he's good.
Gotta love those backup strats.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, Greffery having 7 blue balls. That's...
Ouch.
Yeah. I think that's the second most common, though, which is kind of sad.
Definitely sad to say the least, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about bombs in Pod. Bomb count is a little important here in Pod, not only because you need a specific amount of bombs for a trick coming up here, but you also want to grab enough bombs to basically help you out for the rest of the run. You're going to need some bombs to get Ice Rod and Mire and Ice Palace, etc. And Pod is a really good spot to get those bombs because they're kind of laid out in front of you. Don't have to go out of your way to get them. And yeah, better yet, you don't have to worry about them later in the run.
Yeah, for sure. We've actually, well, not, I shouldn't say we because I wasn't part of this, but the community has altered the pod route just slightly. I think it may have been found by ACM. I could be wrong about this, but they've modified it in a way so that you have to go through that kind of main lobby several times where there's bombs there, so that you can get your pickups there instead. The old route had you, I guess, getting like 1 less bomb, I think. So this way it just ensures you to get more bombs. Greffery, unfortunately, taking some damage in the first room. So hopefully he'll be okay for the rest of the dungeon. Andy getting his hammer jump.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, going into the later part of the dungeon where Andy's going to be going, you want to have full hearts for the different strategies that there are to do. Mainly in, I guess, the room after the Mimic's room, so that you can just hit the switch quickly, the crystal switch quickly with your beams instead of having to use arrows. And then also having those extra hearts for Helmasaur is really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Saves a menu, and you can never have too much health for Helmasaur, especially if you go hammer strats.
Yeah, for sure. So Greffery, as long as he nails his hammer jump here, should be fine for hearts, since there are 3 under pots right before mimics. So as long as this is okay, he should be fine. Yep. So he'll be good. He'll be able to get full hearts for the second half of pod. Meanwhile, we have Mysticum going into the Aghanim fight. Hopefully the blue balls are nicer to him than they were to Andy and Greffery. But we'll see.
Alright, so Andy's up at Helmosaur. He's using the sword hammer pokes here. It's a little bit more safer because... Oh, he's actually getting really good RNG there against the wall. He's able to get faster hammer hits.
Wow, that was a good fight.
That was a really good fight, yeah. You got a little bit of help from Helma as well, so that's good.
Yeah. Using the sword out with the hammer like that does a few things. Like you said, it's safer. It allows you to it extends the hammer's hitbox, so it allows you to stay a little bit further away from Helmosaur, which is safer. And then also, what was I gonna say? Oh my god, I just totally forgot. Oh yeah, it also allows Link to stay facing north. If you're just hitting him with the hammer without the sword out, then he, I guess, repels or looks backwards, and they have to keep facing forwards to Helmosaur, so...
Yeah, like, if you don't have the sword out, yeah, it kind of, like, bounces you backwards, so you're facing the other way, so you have to, like, kind of facing forward again, back and forth, so yeah. Ooh, Gref's getting some fireballs there.
Yeah, Helmosaur has 3 different attacks. He can spit out fireballs, he can charge at you, and he can whip his tail like he just did there. During the first phase, when he still has his mask on, he can only do 1 at a time. But as we're seeing right now, in the second phase, he can do 2 at a time. So, kind of a pain, but Gref finishes off very nicely. And only took 1 hit, so that's really good.
So Andy pulling off the first hammer dash there. So the thing we call item dashing. When you get the boots, whatever Y item you have, there's a few items you can use. You can basically mash the Y item and the dash button at the same time. And with a hammer, you can go through pegs without, you know, walking up to them and doing 1 at a time. Nifty little strat. I believe that's across all versions of the game too.
Item dashing is only available in the 1.0.
Oh, Japanese
yeah.
1.0. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. There's a few things. I think it's that, fake flippers, and spin speed.
Gotcha. Yo, shout outs to shovel dashing for sure.
How about shovel dashing when you're in, what is it, in the digging game?
Yeah.
Oh yes, and getting hit while falling down a pit or getting grabbed by the wall master while you're falling down a hole. That's also a JP 1.0 exclusive. What a good version of the game.
So gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mysticum got jelly blocked there, so he had to go to the right side to drop down. That was very rude.
Yeah, good call by Mysticum though, for sure. Right, so Andy has unlocked the bird. He won't be getting powder, neither will Greffery. They'll both be skipping that safety. So they're both going to just make their way straight to Thieves Town.
Yeah, at their level of play, they're very confident in their skills, where they feel like they won't need powder in their run. my opinion, one of the most important safeties definitely to me is the powder. So once you feel like you're like really top tier runner and you can skip that powder is when you're running pretty much everything optimal.
Yeah. My rule for safeties is always, if you're not using it anymore, or if you're barely using it, it's time to drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy actually got really close to getting hit by that red horse head there when he jumped down. But by the grace of God or something, didn't get hit. So that's good for him. They do 2 hearts of damage, which, especially not having Sync Heart, is a bit daunting in this dungeon.
Yeah. Thieves is the 4th intended dungeon in the game, so the enemies do a ton of more damage compared to, say, Pod and Swamp and even Skull Woods a little bit.
Yeah, shoutouts to Blunt Bunny, though. On Andy's side, getting hit by the bunny bean. And coming up on Andy's screen as well, we're going to have the ever famous Heckway. It is pretty terrible unless it goes well. So that was not bad from Andy. You can actually get into a certain pixel on that conveyor and dash straight through without hitting anything or getting hit by anything. But you also need the RNG to be in your favor for that to happen. So it can be a bit difficult, and sometimes you can actually get that magic god pixel, but the RNG is not in your favor, and they can actually hit you out of your dash.
Yeah, those 2 factors play a huge hand in actually getting that to work. You got to get that on the right pixel, and you need help from RNG there.
Yeah, but it feels really nice when you do get it.
Oh, it feels so good. Nice dashes through those jail cell doors. You actually can't dash through them, but you can time your dashes to stop right before them and then open them by walking through them and then just dashing right after. If you dash into them, you just bonk off and just look silly.
Greffery getting the Heckway, getting the god pixel, and the RNG is in his favor, so very nice. It saves quite a bit of time actually to get it, so that's really good. Alright, Andy coming up on the blind fight here. I'm sure you've heard it a million times, but this is a scripted fight. Should go pretty easily for him. It's one of the easier boss fights in the Dark World in this speedrun for players who know the script, so it shouldn't be difficult at all for Andy. Yeah. Very nice fight.
Very nice. No matter the weapon, 3 hits per cycle there, and you're good to go.
Yeah. When you kill or see someone kill blind over to the left side of the, I guess, the light coming through the window, that's when you know it was a really good fight. Ooh, Greffery unfortunately has that red horse head coming up the middle of the jail cell, but does react to that appropriately. He'll shoot fireballs up and they'll do 2 hearts of damage, so you kind of, it's a pain. That's all.
The rudest horse, I swear.
Yeah, he is. He is. He thinks
he's out for blood every time.
Yeah, what a guy.
All right, Miscom noticing himself with a little low and taking a little bit of a safer approach to Helma, but he cleaned up very nicely. Yeah,
it was a very nice fight. Greffery gonna be taking a stab at blind, both literally and figuratively. Should go the same for him as well as it did for Andy. I shouldn't see too much variance here.
It's definitely one of those fights where if you get a grasp on it, it makes your life so much easier running this game, because when that fight gets out of hand, a lot of bad things can happen.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I started learning this game and I still grabbed 2 bottles and stuff, I would use 2 fairies on this fight because I just didn't know what I was doing. But definitely once you learn the script, it makes your life a lot easier. So that's one thing I would encourage newer players to spend some time doing, is learning that script. Even if you just learn, you know, the first and second cycle or something or whatever, just at least start to learn it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Andy may have mirror bonked there.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah. So you can mirror going through that door, but if you mirror too low, you'll get sent back into the I guess he was back in the dark world.
Yeah, and you can be like really far into the blacksmith's house when you warp out. Like, you can be almost non-visible.
Yeah, it's a really big window.
So Andy heading up into Skullwoods, one of the more quicker, straightforward dungeons in the whole game, really, if you just know where to go. There's a lot of side areas you don't even need to bother with. You just need to head straight to the big key, go back, get your fire rod, and then head to the exit.
Andy took some damage there in the mummy statue room. Not a huge deal, but he will have to take damage right here as well for his bomb jump. So it's going to put him down another heart, and then if he uses the iframes by dropping into the hole to leave, which it looks like he's going to do, he's down another heart as well.
Yeah.
Not the biggest deal, but things on the overworld do 2 hearts of damage, and like we had said earlier in the beginning, dying in this overworld is very, very awful.
Yes, the worst place to die in the overworld right here.
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem for Andy though. So
So it looks like Miscum is going to go turn in his mushroom to get his powder. And Greffery is going to be heading in to get his big key for Fire Rod as well. Love this strat here with the Bloomerang. Such a good move. If you have it equipped already, even ways, you can stun those Gyvdos, and they won't be a problem for you.
yeah, and that's much better than trying to kill both of them, because that can be pretty time consuming.
Yeah, they take forever to die.
Ooh, Andy almost getting bopped there by that mini Helma, but he gets around it, and he's going to be going into the moth fight. This is another fight that is generally, I wouldn't really say it's easy, but it's probably easier in a speedrun than it is casually. So that was an okay fight. You can actually kill Mothula in 3 hits. Well, it looks like 3 hits, I should say. You want to bonk him up against the very top block at the top of the room to get a double hit, and then you just need 2 more slashes from there, and that's really the quickest the fight can go.
So Miskin heading into Thieves, he's got all of the safeties that he really wants to before heading into this dungeon. As we were saying, this is the 4th intended crystal dungeon, so they throw pretty much everything at you, but he should be set to go for if the worst thing happens.
Oh no, Greffery killing that mini Helmosaur, getting the fairy drop. I think we'd explained a little bit earlier, but he wanted to not get that fairy drop until Turtle Rock. So you want to avoid certain enemies in the game that will drop a fairy, and the mini Helmosaurs are one of them. You're okay to kill the one in Palace of Darkness on the Hammer Jump Bridge, but other than that, you want to avoid them as much as possible. So that is unfortunate, but not the end of the world either. He should still be able to get through Turtle Rock without that drop, hopefully.
Yeah, might have to take it a little bit more careful, but yeah, like you're saying, he should be okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Andy's off to get his Quake medallion. He's going to be setting up a quick warp here by bonking. It just shakes the camera in a way that puts you in, I don't know, puts you in the right spot, I guess, for the quick warp. And yeah, it's pretty free and easy, I guess. There are ways to screw it up, though, I should say. You can actually end up like dashing around the slope and getting caught in a loop of jumping into the water, which is pretty awful.
Yeah, I do that plenty of times.
Yeah, yeah.
Miscom took a death there, but it's okay. He did have his fairies, so he did not have to start back over. And like you were saying, it's like really easy to accidentally dive into the water here, and multiple times, because you're trying to like get away from the water, but you're accidentally still jumping into it. So it's always fun.
Yeah, I think it loses about a second every time you jump into the water accidentally. So it's not something you want to be doing really, but it happens.
Nice convenient warp here straight to Ice Palace, which is where Andy will be heading next.
Ooh, missing the key there from Andy, but quick strats though to get it back. That was a good cleanup.
And Mysticum using his knowledge of knowing where those bunny beams are under pots, which you can actually powder those pots that have bunny beams under them, and it'll turn them into fairies without even having to lift it. And then with timing, you can pull out the net real quick and catch it. So it's really good on his end.
Also taking a safer route here, so it doesn't have to go up that conveyor with the 2 jellies on it and risk getting electrified or getting knocked off. So it's a good safe strategy there for sure. Will help him retain his hearts for the blind fight. I know some people like to have beams on that fight. So yeah. Alright, Andy's coming up on the Ice Palace bomb jump. And yeah, I was just gonna say he's gonna hover.
What bomb jump?
Yeah. I mean the Ice Palace hover gets it. Yeah. That it's an Andy thing.
Definitely an Andy thing. So yeah, you actually have the choice there of bomb jumping it. It's like a 2-pixel window. You can set it up with different ways you can do it, or you could hover it.
It's actually pretty helpful to know the hover there, I guess, if you know, mess up the bomb jump or run out of bombs or something like that. You can take the risk of hovering it instead of having to like a mirror out to try to find bombs again or something.
Yeah. So yeah, he's sitting at 2 bombs right now, which is actually the perfect amount of bombs that he needs for the rest of the run. So he's good to go on bomb count. And Miskin cleaned up blind fight pretty good, so he's going to be done there and heading forward.
We got Andy doing the poke dashes on Cold Stare, getting bopped by one of them though, so down to 2 hearts, has to be careful. Shouldn't be a problem for him at all though. No, and he cleans it up pretty nicely.
Yeah, it's always a little scary when the Cold Stare puffs get away from you a little bit, because they do a ton of damage to you if you get some hugs on them. But yeah, if you distance yourself well, you should be okay.
We got Contos coming up to the moth fight here. Hopefully goes well for him.
Greff's got to be careful. He's got to get this bomb jump here. Oh no, and he's out of bombs.
Oh shoot, we were just talking about this too. Some of the enemies here will drop bombs. Those jellies can drop bombs, I should say. But I think he's going to opt to go to Swamp Palace now and finish Swamp Palace, get some bombs there, as well as a heart refill and a magic refill, and come back and do Ice Palace afterwards.
Which isn't a bad move at all. I mean, even if you take a death to Cold Stare, a lot of runners opt to go to Swamp after Ice Palace, because usually you're at 0 magic and you can't go into Ice Palace anyways. You could try to farm for it like right outside the entrance, but if you just go to Swamp and clear out Swamp anyways, you get a full magic refill afterwards, and then you can just go back to Ice Palace.
Yeah, I believe this method's actually faster, just because, you know, if you're farming for a magic drop, you're really taking a gamble, and you could be, you know, resetting the screen 3 or 4 times even, trying to get a full magic drop. So definitely coming here is a good call.
Looks like he'll opt to probably find bombs somewhere else. Also, you could have there was a chest there with bombs in that one right there. So if you're ever in the need of bombs and you're going into Swamp anyways, you can actually grab that chest as well.
Yeah, there's also a couple of pots in Swamp that have bombs. There's one in this first room here, right above the key pot, which he's not grabbing. Nope. Oh, say can't talk. So there's another one at the end of the dungeon as well. That's in what we call the refill room. There's 2 hearts, arrows, and a bomb, and he may be going there to grab that one. But I'm not 100% sure. He's gonna also need more. He's gonna need it for Ice Palace bomb jump, as well as the ice rod, and also one for Meyer. So he's gonna need a few bombs here at least. Oh, he's also gonna need it for the bomb floor. Actually, I just remembered that that is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you get down to that Stalfos room, you can farm a few bombs there, but yeah, you are going to need one to get down to that room first.
Ooh, taking a death, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, only down to 1 heart. He only entered the dungeon with 2 hearts, so yeah, it's pretty rough.
You can typically use like Swamp Palace as like a breather dungeon. I always like to refer to that. Like you're an hour into the run, and from the run from here on out, it gets very chaotic. So usually like they'll use this to kind of collect yourself. It's a straightforward dungeon. Not too much can go bad, but like you were saying, he entered the dungeon with 2 hearts, so definitely things can go wrong very quickly.
Yep, and Mysticum getting his fire rod in the, I guess the intended way. So spoilers for anyone who hasn't played the game before, that's how you get the fire rod. But it does save him from having to do the bomb jump and taking more damage, and also saves him an extra bomb, so definitely not a bad strategy. Oh, we've got Contos back now, and he's heading into Ice Palace. So that's good to know.
Yeah, and his bomb count looks good too, so he should be good for doing bomb jump and everything else there too, so that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Mysticum not even wanting to deal with those Gibdos, who just takes them all out. That's always good. You can get to that room pretty quickly without having to bother with them, but you have to be really precise with your movement, and sometimes it's just safer and easier to take them all out. Although it does leave you usually with no magic going into Moth, so you have to be a little careful.
Ooh, missed to come down to a 1.5 on Mothula. Ooh, gets it though. That was a nice last hit there.
That was very good.
Very nice. Right, Contos coming up on his Ice Palace bomb jump here. Looks like he's using a bit of a dash buffer method to get into place and makes it over really nicely. I think we might see Zero Cycle Argus from Andy. Yep. Very difficult strat. Ooh, he actually ended up getting it. I didn't think he would with having to... Oh, he didn't. Okay, never mind.
Oh, I was like, did he? I was like,
yeah. So he had to set it up all over again after dropping it.
Still really fast, still really clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying, one of the hardest optimally one of the hardest fights to do.
Yeah, it requires you to get a hook dash with your sword out in the beginning, and then it requires like very precise timing of hook shots to get them into your sword and kill the puffs that way. So difficult strat. You can see Greffery just going for the normal strategy here. This is one you see for most players. Much easier to do, much safer. And really not that much slower. I think the Zero Cycle with the Fire Rod kill is about 7 seconds faster than not doing the Zero Cycle and doing the spins like Greffery did here.
I mean, Contos with a pretty solid Cold Stare fight. Got him pinned up in the corner, which is ideally what you want to do. So Andy's going to go ahead and go up and grab his Ether Medallion. It's the last, with the Ice Rod afterwards. It's pretty much the last of his shopping that he'll do, last of the extra items that he'll need to finish the run. And then Mysticum's actually going to go ahead and grab his Ice Rod now. I may also see Gref get his items now too, and then go back to Ice Palace.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna do that. He only has 1 bomb right now. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Never mind.
Never mind. Sorry.
Sorry. I forgot this was the faster way to get to Ice Palace when you've had to come back to it. He only has one bomb, so he's gonna have to pick up another bomb, probably in the bomb floor room. I think I said bomb too many times there in that sentence. In the bomb floor room underneath the pod, there's another bomb there, so you'll probably end up grabbing that one, and we'll probably see a bit modified strats from him. I doubt he's gonna go for the double bomb strat in the bomb floor room, just because he is down to only one bomb. So Contos utilizing the medallion in Mire 2. Nice, man. Gets rid of all of those Wizards.
I love seeing that in the gauntlet in Ganon's tower. Just why bother? Take them all out. Just use those medallions.
Yeah. Actually, if you get stuck, you know that at the end of Ganon's tower where it's like all the mini Helmasaurs on the conveyor and there's bumpers and spikes and it's like a spike floor. It's just like a crazy room. And you just have to basically dash straight up the room before you go into Ganon 2. In that room, if you ever end up like getting stuck and you know, you can't get past any of the enemies or you keep getting hit into bumpers or whatever, it's actually a really good strategy to pull out one of your medallions and just use it in that room.
Nice.
Kill everything and get back on track.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, well that would require somebody, you know, having to have a bad room, so.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Just evil on the inside. Like, yes, I want to see people fail.
So Conto's showing off what you can do while pushing blocks is, in this instance, instead of like pushing all 3 blocks to get into like those torches, with the fire rod, as you're pushing the block, if you use the fire rod, it'll pass through it. And you also kind of saw something like that when they opened up Swamp. You use the mirror to make the block disappear. There's really weird stuff you can do while pushing blocks.
It looks like Contos is probably going to be doing Gold Sword and Silver Arrow since he's doing Mire now. And we'll probably be doing Swamp afterwards. That's usually the route that's taken when people do the Gold Sword route.
And solid kill from Graf.
Yep. One got away from him there, but he managed to track it down and kill it.
Yeah, he utilized that top wall. If you kind of like sit on the top wall as one of those ice blocks fall down, it won't like spread out and dissipate once it hits the ground. And therefore, you can have a little bit more wiggle room making your way over to Cold Stare, pinning him in the corner. All right, so Andy heading down, getting ready to set up for Vitreous here. He has this one bomb left that he needs to bomb open this wall where Contos is now to hit that switch, which is why your bomb count is very important coming into Mire. You only need that one bomb, but just keeping an eye on it is very important because if you get to this room without any bombs, it can be pretty disastrous. So Contos will have full health going into Vitreous. It's going to make it a lot easier to do this strat here. And yeah, I cleaned it up pretty good. Also going to see the same from Andy. Ooh, but he took a weird D-boost there. Looks like he can clean up still. And very nice. He did a really good job of avoiding the lightning there at the last second. But yeah, he took a weird D-boost up the center and didn't allow him to get off the spin to hit the eyes properly. But yeah, I cleaned up pretty well. Really good fight from both Contos and Andy. Greffery picking up his ice rod, and Miscom's going to be heading down to Colster in just a minute. Miscom going up to getting that safety fairy right above Cold Stare. Always a good spot to get it, especially if you have powder. You definitely don't want to go down into Cold Stare with low health. You want to avoid that at all costs because it just makes the fight so much more nerve-wracking. Oh, and it looked like Andy almost got dead rock blocked, but he was able to bypass him on the bottom there. That was really close. But not before that one stopped him. And Miscom cleans up. Very nice. So right there, as you saw on Contos stream, is an example of what you can do when you're pushing blocks. With the mirror, when you're outside of a dungeon, you can make those blocks disappear if you're mashing that Y button at the same time as pushing it. But make sure you do it outside of a dungeon so you don't accidentally mirror. So Andy heading into T-Rock here. Gref utilizing those push block strats. And the last one there, usually what happens is that Wizrobe on the very bottom there can shoot upwards. So if you're trying to do the push block thing on the right one, sometimes that Wizrobe will take a snipe at you. Andy utilizing the hook shot there to reset back to the entrance there a lot faster than the intended way, and then further using the hook shot to get past those roller pins. And Andy coming up on the infamous Chomp Room here. See how he handles it. Very nice. Pretty much goes for the straightforward, go to the blue pegs, use iframes, and you can pretty much walk through the Chomp there. You just time your Samaria block at the right moment. That room can be a nightmare, and then using it that method just allows you to take no damage from those Chomps. But you are still at the mercy of the RNG of Chomps, which are terrible. Shoutouts to Blunt Bunny for another appearance here on Andy's stream. Gref having that one last bomb. Able to go to the switch room there.
Andy's coming up now on the double pokey room. There are 16 different RNGs in this room. And looks like he got one of the better RNGs, easier to deal with. Pulls it off very nicely.
16 RNGs.
Yeah, believe it or not. Blunt Bunny actually has a video showcasing all the best strats, the optimal strats, and the safe strats for the 16 different RNGs. So, it's a pretty cool video. Greffery getting a nice Vidi kill. And we'll see Mysticum coming up on that fight next.
Andy using that Samaria block to get rid of that beetle, because he can definitely be a nuisance.
Yeah, for sure. It's always better to just get rid of him rather than trying to dash around him. That's more of like I think an optimal strat to try to do that laser skip with him still, with that beetle still there.
Yeah, it's
difficult.
Definitely more consistent just to get rid of him that way. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oop, Andy placing the block in the wrong spot.
Looks like he's gonna have just enough magic to do this as long as he doesn't mess up the shot here.
I'm going for the backdoor strats. It's only, like, it seems like it's a lot faster, but it's really only slightly faster. Thankfully, was able to clean up that fight because he doesn't have enough magic for another shot, so I don't think anyway. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he had just enough magic right there, too.
Yeah, nice fight from Andy, for sure.
Contos getting it in that one cycle, Argus there, really good.
Yeah, very nice fight from Contos. Greffery just opening up Turtle Rock. And we have Mysticum getting close to the Vidi fight.
So Mysticum deboosting his way through Vitreous. He's gonna have to probably clean up this last eyeball with an arrow there. Very nice.
Oh, that was close. Almost got hit by the lightning there. Whew, that was a nice dodge.
Andy entering GT at 117. This is a really solid pace.
Yeah, for sure. This is a good pace for Andy. I think I saw someone say he was only about half a minute behind his PB, so that's really, really good pace. 126 pace. So for a player like Andy at his level, Ganon Sour takes, I guess, just over 7 minutes to finish. And then Ganon should be less than 2 minutes if you want to do any quick math. That's your quick math there. The quick math is you figuring it out. Me giving you the numbers and you figure it out.
The answer is numbers are hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you are right. Contos is going to go ahead and pick up his gold sword and silver arrows, which will make his Ganon fight considerably much less frustrating.
Oh, I thought it wasn't blowing up. I was like, what's happened to the bomb?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good now. I think most people know by now, but I'm like a huge proponent of gold sword and silver arrows.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great safety. I mean, it costs quite a bit to get, but at the same time, you know, if you're not comfortable, oh my god, I cannot talk today. This is actually bad. If you're not comfortable with tempered sword strategies, or if you are having trouble with the Ganon fight, like if you're dying, or if you're, you know, having a Ganon fight that lasts like 3 minutes, you're better off just getting the gold sword and silver arrows. It'll actually save time. It'll be a lot less stressful, and you can just focus on getting through the run. And the last thing you want to do when you're on really good pace is get into a loop of Ganon deaths. So,
yeah, which is really easy to do.
Oh, for sure. So I'm all for grabbing gold sword and silver arrows until you're like really ready to make that step into tempered sword. I actually practiced the tempered sword Ganon for probably months before I ever even tried it in a run. So it wasn't for a while. I think I dropped a gold sword at like around 133, 134 level. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's still a really good time to be getting that with butter or golden and silvers too.
There was one runner last NMG tournament by the name of Malibu Ken who was still grabbing gold sword and silver arrows, and he had a 131 PB. And he was like, I don't know how you guys grab tempered sword. He's like, I don't know how you do the fight like that. So he was all for gold sword and silver arrows. We see the same for Mysticum as well, which is good. Another good strategy. So we'll get to see the differences here, I guess, between the gold sword Ganon fight or gold sword strategies in the later part of the game and the tempered sword strategies. Meanwhile, Andy's coming up on the gauntlet here. One of the tougher sections of Ganon's tower. This is kind of where your run can die, I guess, because the rooms can either go quickly or you can take twice as long to get through them, depending on the RNG and your reactions to it. Andy there, unfortunately, missing one of the blue horse heads and then running into another one. Ooh, having a rough time here.
He's gotta be a little careful here now. He's a little bit low on health, but yeah, he should be okay.
Yeah. Hopefully. Ooh, careful, Andy.
Alright, so Gref cleaning up Trinex. Good fight. He's going to be on his way to GT. And Andy taking on Lambo 2. Very good 0 cycle. Well, 1 cycle, really.
Yeah. Yep. We got Contos coming into the roller room. What you see from a lot of players here is to actually mirror out. It's definitely much safer to do it that way, rather than trying to deboost your way out. And looks like he's going to take the mirror out. ACMLM actually still does that strategy, and he has a 125. So a lot of people say, you know, hey, if it's good enough for ACM, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, I hate those roller pins. So yeah, I'm opting to use mirror right there.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that Mysticum had not done Swamp Palace yet. Having Gold Sword in Swamp Palace doesn't really do much. Oh, Andy's got to be careful here. But yeah, having Gold Sword in Swamp Palace doesn't really do much because you're already overpowered with the Tempered Sword here, so the Gold Sword doesn't really like kill anything easier or faster than the Tempered Sword would. But you may actually, I guess, he could use Silver Arrows on Argus. Would be the only thing I could think of that would be an advantage to him.
Yeah, it takes 1 Silver Arrow to kill the final phase there, so maybe opting to do that.
Alright, looks like Andy's doing pretty good here. Probably going to see him. Oh, shoutouts to Blunt Bunny. So, the 3rd time we've seen him in this run?
Yep.
Yeah. We're probably going to see Andy hover Moldorm too. So, all you hover fans. Oof. You're going to get a treat. Oh, there's a map. And still manages to hover. Nice.
It's just a little buffer there, that's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can manage to hover Moldorm 2, it does save a little bit of time. Assuming you get it first try.
Yeah, it does save quite a bit. Alright, Aga 2, everyone's favorite geometry wizard. Takes 6 hits to kill him. Looks like Andy's got, I think it's 3 hits. Oof. That was a rough cycle there. Alright.
Cleaned up with the triple. Really good.
Very nice.
He will be going into the Ganon fight with a heart and a half. No matter what, if he takes any damage at all in this fight, he is dead. So he'll be a little bit more, I don't know, probably a little bit more careful than he thinks, but you should be okay.
So we got Greffery coming up to Ice Armos here, and Contos is going to be doing Laser Skip in a moment. Meanwhile, we got Mysticum making his way through Swamp Palace. About to get his hook shot. Thankfully, Andy got some pretty easy RNG here. This just, yeah, you can see, he knows what he's doing. I mean, it might not look like it, but he knows what he's doing. Contos taking a second crack at the laser skip. I think he may have fallen the first time or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh, doing the cane dash strat. Nice. So from here on out, Andy should be fine. Really the scariest parts of this fight are the second cycle, I guess, where the fire ring is around Ganon and you're trying to get all those hits in and have it only be one cycle on that phase. This one, it's much easier to not die during this phase here. Very nice fight from Contos there.
Yeah, that gold sword makes that fight so much less frustrating.
Yeah. Alright, GG to Andy. Finishing with a 126. That's a really nice race time. It'll be a high 126. 126.48. GG to Andy.
GG.
Alright, so we got Gref coming up to, ooh, Lambo 2. Nice dodge skills there in Gauntlet 5. Didn't even take any damage. He's actually got quite a lot of hearts right now. He's only down 2.5, which is pretty nice going into the rest of Ganon's tower. Oops, I just jinxed him. But yeah, that's a really nice heart count for sure. Alright, Greffery, lighten up these torches here. There is a certain way where you can, I guess, do what he just did instead of having to kind of like wrap all the way around. You just have to really be quick. And it takes, like you wouldn't think it would take practice, but that is a room that actually does take practice to get the way that Greffery did there. Lighten up these 4 torches as well. And then he'll be off to fight Moldorm 2. Meanwhile, we have Contos in Ganon's tower now, just in the very beginning, and Mysticum will be making his way over to Turtle Rock. Nice Moldorm 2 fight there from Gref. And then he'll be making his way to Aga 2. Hopefully it's not too bad for him. Ooh, Mysticum getting squirrel blocked here. Like a pretty nice first phase of Aga 2 for Gref. Oh, nice! Was that a 2 cycle or was that 3? It must have been 3.
Yeah, I think it was 3, but it was still really good.
Alright, then he's gonna come up and fight Ganon.
But we are joined by our first place runner between Contos is Andy. GG, Andy.
GG.
Nice run.
Yeah, it was pretty good. 5 blue balls was kind of unfortunate. And then that Skull Woods was something that I'm going to block out of my brain for forever.
Yeah.
Same with that GT, TBH. But other than that, it was all pretty solid for the most part. GG.
Yeah, you definitely played really well.
What am I doing?
3. It must have been 3.
Can't complain.
Yeah, I
with
think it was 3, but it was still really good.
I suppose.
Is that your best race time so far? Come up and fight Ganon?
Yes. The first one was like a...
but we are joined by our
was
first
like
place runner
1.9.
between Contos is Andy.
And
GG,
then
Andy.
This is my second race so far. GG.
Nice run.
I was on
it
similar
was
pace
pretty
heading
good.
to Thieves Town, and my racing was pretty player, but then my car crashed. And then that Skull Woods was
Yeah, I remember that.
something
So you
that I'm
guys-
going to block
tomorrow
out
night.
of my brain
nice,
for
perfect.
forever.
Yeah.
Same with that GT, TBH. I was really bummed. That Turtle Rock was really, really good until I decided to walk into a pit 2 different times in 3 rooms.
Yeah, that's usually not a good strategy, but it happens.
How's everybody else doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Gref is about to finish up here. He's got just a few more hits on Ganon. And Contos is coming up and he's about in the middle of the gauntlet right now.
Greffery finishing up Ganon. Looks like he's gonna have a low 132. So GG to Gref. Ooh, Mysticum taking a death to Chomps. It's always a rough room.
Did have that backup fairy, so that's good. Gref did finish with an official time of 132.10. Not bad.
Yeah, GG to Gref. Oh no, Mysticum taking another death. But thankfully his dad has another fairy.
You have an opportunity to get some more fairies here in the next room. Alright, so Contos going down to Moldorn 2. He's got full health. Should be good to go here. Having the gold sword. It's pretty much same as tempered sword for that fight. Just 2 well-timed slashes and you're good to go. So Contos onto Aga 2 fight here.
Looks like we're joined by Greffery.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo, GG Gref.
GG.
Thanks.
GG, dude.
And yes, the controller is intact.
It's good to know. Survives another run.
Another day, it will live. Tomorrow, I don't know.
So, how you feeling about your run overall?
I was okay with taking an intentional death in Hera, because I didn't fall down this time. But that Ice Palace bomb jump was driving me bonkers. And then the death in Swamp I was less than enthused about. The rest of it was okay, though.
Yeah, that Ice Palace bomb jump was pretty unfortunate, but you made a good call by going to Swamp Palace and, you know, getting some bombs there.
Yeah, I just decided to make a snap decision and just roll with it rather than try to figure something out on the fly.
Yeah, I think it was a good choice for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your final race?
Yes, it is.
Oh wow. Okay, that's good.
I was hoping to sneak in on 128, but no bueno.
What's your best race time? Do you know?
129.09 or something like that, I think.
Okay, well that's not bad. That's close enough to 128.
Yeah, I guess so. It looks like Contos was having some issues the entire time.
Yeah, we missed quite a bit of his run because he was having some internet issues.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but
Yeah, I was just kind of glancing back and forth and saw that it was just like, yep, still on his way to get the Master Sword.
yeah, for like 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, pretty interesting too. You have 2 runners in this race getting gold sword and silver arrows, which you don't usually see very often from people anymore. So yeah, it was kind of nice to see the differences between that and tempered sword Ganon.
Oh, and Contos finishes up his Ganon fight. Very good, GG.
Yeah, GG to Contos. Ooh, Miscom taking a death to Trinex.
Oh no.
Oh, he's got a fairy. He's good.
Yay.
So, looks like Contos did reset his timer. It's fine. We go by a different finish time in speed racing. He finished up with a 1:37.48.
GG, Contos. Miscom finishing up Trinex. Alright, we are going to get Contos in here as well to talk about his run.
Hey.
Hey Contos, GG on your run.
GG Contos.
I finally fixed my internet. It was so horrible to play with. All the time looking for OBS or something. That's so sad.
Yeah, we saw that we lost you for quite a while in the beginning there.
40
Yeah.
minutes, like, was really hard to do, but that's good race with only one death, and that's really interesting. This is my 4th time, I think, on all race, so all runs, so I feel good for that.
That's good. Was this time close to your PB?
It was 3 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
But 4th time of my Link's best speedrun history, if I can say that like that, so I'm quite happy for that.
Nice, that's good.
One time I think I will join referee on the dungeon because I see he was a bit late of the run, but he has one dungeon.
There was issues.
Yeah, I think you were on issues.
Just a little.
And so I wasn't. Oh no, I can't. I can do it. Mysticum is not so far of his PB, as I look.
Yeah, he is on a pretty good pace.
He's on 146.
Yeah, he also stopped to get gold sword and silvers, so he'll be able to do Armos here a little bit faster as well as Ganon. So we'll see if.
I was the only gold sword in this race.
No, yeah, you and Mysticum both running that route. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah, you don't see too many runners these days grabbing gold sword and silver arrows. I find that a lot of them just want to jump right into tempered sword and learn that right from the get-go, which is fine. But I think back when I was playing, there's a lot more gold sword runners for sure.
Yeah, I've tried sometimes, but it was really too hard to do for the moment. So.
Yeah, I mean you'll get there eventually. I didn't for a while, so
maybe when I will retry at this game, I try it.
I think Mysticum forgot he was supposed to go upstairs.
Oh.
Just wanted to check out that right side, make sure it looks the same, you know?
Yeah. Make sure he doesn't need anything there.
Alright, I'm gonna hop out of here. You guys have a good one.
Alright, Gref.
GG Gref. Thanks for the race.
Thank you. Bye.
Mimics are so much easier with the silver arrows.
It's just so much easier.
Yeah.
These rooms can be a nightmare with regular arrows. With silvers, one and you're done.
No,
yeah.
I don't do it like that. That's the interesting strat.
Ooh, getting a little beat up by the spikes here. Wonder if he's gonna stop for the fairies in the next room.
Using those iframe strats to get through the cannons. Oh god.
He's gonna stop for these fairies here. Especially going into going to Gauntlet. Having only 3 hearts is pretty scary. Trying to get this last horse head here, and just to snipe him with a silver arrow.
Yeah, he's doing great here.
He's also going to stop to powder this bunny beam, which kind of changes the Lamo 2 fight a little bit.
Yeah, it causes those first two to spawn at the same time, so it's just a little different, nothing too much to worry about.
It depends. It depends if you take fast or you take so much time to take the powder. Because I did sometimes and I have no. I'm not the all of the Lamos growing up at the same time. I have a bit of a difference in time. So I'm not sure just when taking it.
Yeah, it looks like he was gonna opt to skip that magic, but I think second thought, he wants to go ahead and grab it just in case.
I will let you finish this race and I will go to it.
Alright, GG, Contos.
Yeah, GG, man.
Yeah, thanks for the race.
And yeah, thank you for the commentary.
No problem.
Goodbye.
See ya.
So Miscom on Moldorn 2 cleans him up pretty quickly. Very nice.
Yeah, one difference there with the Gold Sword versus Tempered Sword is that you only need 2 slashes on Moldorm's tail rather than a slash and a spin, so it makes it a little bit easier.
Hmm. Wow, really good first setup there.
Yeah, that was really nice. Wow, nice second one too.
Just needs one more and he's good.
Oh, no!
no, we
Just got blue balled. Oh, I guess one of those hits only counted as 2 or 1
yeah,
instead of 2.
It's like that weird thing where, like, if he's pushed up against the wall, it won't count as a hit for some reason.
Yeah, there he goes. We got him.
Yeah, that definitely looked good for a triple there. That's always weird when that happens.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, making his way into the Ganon fight. This should be a pretty simple fight. With the Gold Sword. Makes it a lot easier. I only need 6 hits in the first phase and gonna wait. and get 6 hits on the second phase here too. No stress, Ganon. Except when you get hit by a bat.
Except fire bats.
Don't hug Ganon either, because that's pretty stressful.
Oh, nice double there. And one more to close it out.
Very nice.
GG Mysticum.
GG. 150-31 on his splits. Not sure how different that is from the race channel.
Might have started a little bit later than usual, but yeah. According to Speed Racing, you got the 150-51.
Very nice.
So we're going to see if he would also like to come in for an interview. And while we do that, I'm actually going to look up the schedule real quick and see what else we have planned for you fine people today. So for the No Major Glitches tournament schedule, what we have actually just about to start now, we have a match between Christos Owen and Zarby going down at Speed Gaming 2. And then at 6 p.m., these are all EDT, Eastern Time, we have Chaucer versus Skarsnik coming up after that on Speed Gaming 2. And then after that match, same channel, Wolfie versus JSR. And that is what we have slated for No Major Glitches for the rest of today. And then we have a whole bunch more tomorrow as well.
Yeah, it looks like coming up on this channel right now is some Link to the Past randomizer. Looks like there's a back-to-back races starting now. And also over on Speed Gaming 3, there's lots of randomizer and Speed Gaming. The first Speed Gaming channel coming up at 5 p.m. There'll be more randomizer. So if you like randomizer, there's lots of that to watch tonight too. So I think at this point we should maybe hand it over to the randomizer folks and let them get set up.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys for watching though. This was a pretty intense race, and thank you Estizo for joining me on commentary today.
And thank you Emma for joining me as well. It was fun.
For sure. I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.